surgeries that he still has to go through in his life. Okay? Chris is nonverbal. He will speak with a computer, so please just give him a little bit of quiet so that you can understand his answers. Chris, just before you start the presentation, okay, I'm going to let you know there are some changes. Like I said, there are some updates where you'll see where in here Chris was not walking, he is walking. Okay, he's presently going to college. He's presently living on his own. I will fill you in on more of the details, but I really want you to see this, to realize in 1 second it was a split decision and his life will never be the same.
Now I'll try and take your questions and use my Dynorite to communicate with you. Thanks for participating in my presentation.
Okay. As I said, a lot has changed since we put this together. We did make another one, but we're having some problems with the voice of it. Okay, as you see, Chris is walking. Okay, the pump that's in his stomach, he's had to have that replaced once already. Every 4 to 5 years, the battery has to be changed. But he does go to the hospital every 10 weeks to have it refilled. They put a larger one in so it can expand a little longer. But for the rest of his life, he has to go and have that filled. Now, I'm sure when you were watching this, you did look over and see Chris constantly stretching. His body, even though he has the pump, wants to constantly curl into a fetal position. Oh, when you show up. He constantly wants to go back. That's 24 hours a day that happens to him. He recently, this summer, he had some tendon transfers in his foot where they moved the tendons to the outside of his foot because after a while, the brain damage doesn't go away. It's not like, well, I healed and I'm done and I messed up. For the rest of his life, he had to have surgery so that he started to fall, so he'd have help walking. His shoulder, actually, from the brain is pulling. So his shoulder is actually, it's popping out of the socket. He has to have that fixed next. Since then, Chris is now living on his own in Manhattan. He decided he wanted to, he went to college, Suffolk County Community College, and then he decided he wanted to go away to college. So for the last 2 years, he went to Pace up in Pleasantville. And now he's going for his master's, and he's living in Manhattan and working with the professor as a part-time job. His wrist, in the picture where you saw where he graduated, he was fortunate enough that his senior year, which is your best year, his was in the hospital. They came to him, he learned, he was able to graduate with his class. He missed that senior year, which is huge, right? He's showing me his wrist. As you saw in that picture, his wrists were bent. He has rods in his wrists now to make his wrist fused. He cannot do this anymore, but it did give him the ability to use his hands. So this is the prime of your life, and this is why he likes to come out and speak to you, because there is consequences to every decision you make, whether it is a good consequence or a bad consequence. There can be good decisions and negative decisions. And he likes, and I know you don't think it's going to happen to you. None of us think it's going to happen to us. But I can honestly tell you, 24 hours a day, he's in pain. As he's sleeping, when he comes home on the weekends occasionally, in the other room, I can hear him moaning in his sleep.
My dad died of liver cancer, and I had to watch him die too. How did you cope with it?
Now I realize he's in a better place watching over me.
I don't know if you remember, but before the accident, like
after you left that store, what were you guys going to do, like, before the accident, what were you thinking? Like, what was your next plan?
I was wasted the last my friends seen me. I was jumping on the roof of her truck getting rowdy.